Welcome, Wanderer. I downloaded myself the Chinese version of Where Winds Meet to see what all the hype is about and if it's warranted. And I got 10 reasons for you why you should be pumped for the game. Number one, and it's actually a very big point, it's free to play, really free to play. It will be released on Steam, you can just download it and play it. And if you don't like it, you delete it. Keep in mind, the game is 100GB for medium graphics and 200GB for super ultra graphic, but it does actually look the part and play the part. We'll get to performance later on. The only pay part I could find in the game is pretty much for costumes and weapon skins. Sure, the costumes do look fantastic. I mean, not gonna lie. However, you don't need that to play through the single player or enjoy the multiplayer. But if you want to, hey, you could still spend money, or you could get yourself the battle pass. The actual content, the hundreds hours of campaigns, side mission unlockables, online mode, PvP dungeons, world bosses, and the actual huge region number 1 with a region number 2 next to it, full of POIs that are worth to discover, hidden bosses, yep, that you need to find and fight off. Ah, man, there's so much to discover. Let's get to number 2, the bread and butter of a game like this, the actual combat. We are getting on release 7 different weapons. It's a sword, dual blade, spear, mole blade, which is a glaive, rope dart, umbrella, and the fan. Some of them are buff weapons, other ones are full DPS weapons, and others are meant for tanking. However, you can always carry 2 of those weapons, and the actual combat is very fast, but you have many actions you can do. We have normal blocks, we have the perfect parries, and we do have the perfect dodges. Whereas the perfect parries will deplete the stamina of the enemy and open them up for critical strikes, for backstab attacks, for hurting them tons. And that's actually how I am fighting mostly. I'm going to parry, deplete the stamina bar, and then win. Your weapons themselves have techniques. For example, my umbrella can stun enemies like this. And I can also go for sweep attack. That is from my spear. So I pretty much can, from my umbrella, swap over to the spear. Whoop, that's my spear, and then again with my special A attack, I can just go back to the umbrella. So you can seamlessly swap between your weapons, and the weapons do synergize with each other. Then we get our normal light attacks, heavy attacks, charged heavy attacks. This was, for example, my charged heavy. This is my normal light, and then my charged light is actually shooting out these bolts that I can train on the enemies, and they're absolutely devastating. On top of this, you have your different techniques. This is a jump kick that I can apply, and with a hand symbol I can hit your inner key points, and I can use Tai Chi to throw you around. And all of these combat styles get woven together to form a cohesive battle style. And of these internal techniques you have way more. Those are 3 I've just shown you, but I can spew mist that blinds the enemy, and then I can open them up for retaliation attack and other stuff that you will actually have to unlock throughout the map, because you don't get these techniques just simply given to you or progressing through the main story. No. You will actually have to unlock them while you're questing, while you're going through the world, while you're exploring, talking to NPCs. Now, the combat itself has me already sold on the game because it's so much fun to actually go through the game, to go from quest to quest, from enemy to enemy, to explore, to find bosses, and then get to fight these bosses. Because it's challenging, it's fun, and you can influence the outcome by how actually good you are. Now that we mentioned the exploration and the going through the game, let's go to point number 3, and that's the breadth and scope of what we can do and how it feels to go through the world. The game is actually mean and messed up, just like Elden Ring, because as you get spawned and go through the tutorial and then end up here in the open world part, because it is actually open world, I have freedom of choice, they spawn in a level 30 boss for you at level 1 that you don't have to fight. But obviously I instantly felt like I had to challenge this and get my ass beaten. Don't worry though, the main quest gives tons of XP. So if you're just looking to actually push your level, you do the main quest and vroom, you're gonna fly up really fast. However, that is not the way to play, because simply leveling up is not giving you what you're looking for. Sure, you're gonna be a higher level and you're gonna get talent points, and these talent points you can spend here in your talent tree to then unlock bonuses, right? We're going to be unlocking the skill slots, top, bottom, left. We're going to unlock the heavy attacks and all that kind of stuff. However, you're not going to get your passives. These would be your passives that we can only unlock if we find the respective scrolls inside the world to then master these techniques. For example, we get This poison palm here, and let me show you the translation. Every time a damage is caused, there's a chance of adding a poison effect, which lasts for 5 seconds. And since I am playing the umbrella, while shooting our enemies with these ranged attacks, or even shooting this, I consistently stack poison up on them, and it works so good. And there's more of this, but for that, you do actually have to go through the world. You have to discover the world. You have to find the bosses. You have to do the side quest. You have to do the regional quest. All that kind of stuff to get these things. And the same goes here for your techniques that I mentioned before, for the Tai Chi, for looking at the meridian points. And without being able to look at the meridian points, you could actually not do further quests, because there was one where I had to open a door, but there are two dudes that always keep turning around. So I actually have to meridian point freeze them, pray myself, open the door. But not possible if I don't even have the respective art. Now to the open world part. As soon as you're done with the tutorial, you pretty much can go wherever you want. Obviously, there might be 2 high level opponents and you're going to struggle and can't kill them. Therefore, it makes sense to actually go step by step through and discover everything. These obelisks here are fast travel obelisks, and the fast traveling actually goes rather quick. That's loading time on my SSD, which is currently a bit too full because I downloaded the 150 gigabyte version, and here we are. The good thing is, there's no fall damage. I can just yeet myself off, boom, and that's it. I won't be actually taking any damage. And not only is there no fall damage, right? If I do actually need to get up this mountain because there's a quest on the tippity top, since there was a quest on the tippity top, since we are a Kung Fu master, this is a Wujian series. I hope I pronounced that correct, by the way. It's a hard word for me as a German. The developers said one thing. Everything is better with Kung Fu. Which means if I need to go up this mountain, I will just use the masters of my Kung Fu, my movement, my whatever, to just walk up the mountain. Obviously, this will deplete stamina, but I don't have to press a single button. I literally just have to walk up the mountain. Like, I mean, I press my controller and I go forward. Do you need to play controller? No, but it feels very good on controller because of the blocking and everything. So I'll just walk up this mountain, no matter how steep. And suddenly I am up here and the game looks absolutely gorgeous with its day and night cycle and all the other things going on. Beautiful, right? Oh, and there's a little cheese. If you actually play Umbrella, you can do this. I can fly. You can fly later as well. There is ways to traverse the actual world, like with movement techniques, like you've seen in some of the intros and trailers already. Oh, these are level 45 opponents. I am not level 45, so this is going to be quite harsh. But, like here, we're going to attack them. We're going to use our art to jump up, hit him. Then key technique stun. Then we can use our umbrella hit to freeze the guy. Dodge out of the way. Go for the shooting. Break his stamina. Then dodge again. Kill him. Dodge. Shoot 1, 2, 3. Jump in. Boom. Wuja finger. Punch. Break his stamina. Dodge. Execution move. Up in the air again. Free aim. Freeze him. Jump. Finger punch. Dodge. Chain with a heavy attack. Block. Block again. Block. Deplete his stamina. Actually not his, but I want to have his depleted. Stun. Jump. Finger punch. Jump in the air. Free aim. Hit him again. Block. Broken. Hit. Kill. Nice. Only got him remaining. And now after clearing those lads out, I could go into this cave. Discovery again. Right? Have to use my arrows. Have to get this chest. Amazing. I'm going to get currency. I'm going to get upgrade materials. All that kind of stuff. Now I'm level 43 to get higher level. Now, what does higher level mean? What does higher level entail? Again, it's going to give you the actual skill points that we can get more talents going. Then on top of leveling up, you will have to upgrade your martial arts, your Kung Fu. Mine is currently at 40 out of 40. You see that in the top? And I can keep upgrading this to actually get more damage. Right now, I have to unlock the 40 out of 50 to then go further and further. And this will make then my whole martial arts better. For this, I will need to get materials like these pages down at the bottom and the gourd too. The pages and the gourd I can buy from an in-game store with materials that I have found. So I can, for example, hover over this right now, and then I can buy these boxes with the jade that I have found in the game to then get myself the respective items, right? To upgrade my weapons further. However, as you have seen, the actual items, the things are limited, and you get to choose which weapons do you want to upgrade. You can, I've seen a 3,000 hour player upgrade every single weapon. However, you should probably focus on two in the beginning. And that's where it gets hard. Because in order to use these weapons, you need martial arts. The spear and the sword you start with. So you have these at the beginning, you have the martial arts for them. Okay? If I now would, for example, want to equip a rope dart, I couldn't do that, or even the fan. It says I can't equip the fan because I don't have the responding martial arts yet. And in order to get the responding martial art, I have to track down a master and kind of steal it from them. So the fan martial art is all the way up here. The rope dart is all the way down here. However, at the beginning of the game, after the tutorial, there's a vendor you meet and you do a quest for him. And he offers you the glaive, the dual blades, rope dart, umbrella, and fan. And you can choose which one you want and instantly get the kung fu for that. So in this case, you really actually have to make a choice. You will unlock all the weapons there and then later down the line, okay? You will definitely get them. But you gotta make sure to know that you have to make a choice there. And you can't just simply run to the location as soon as you spawn with level 1. That being said, if you actually focus on the main quest, as I just said, if you don't go much for discovery in the beginning, you can boost through the levels extremely quick, still get the materials, and then obviously go for the respective schools. I went with the umbrella, for example, because you actually do get the umbrella relatively late in region number 2, if I'm not mistaken. And the umbrella is amazing, as I've shown you with the dart shooting and all the other stuff. It feels like a very powerful weapon. And there is even a buff umbrella later on. But I've chosen to go for the damage umbrella. The map itself is full of POIs. This is, for example, a boss. This was a hidden boss that I couldn't find until I actually went into this region and unlocked a side quest that would then lead me to the hidden boss. Here are camps you can clear for bonus stuff. There is a bunch of vendors. We got a side quests, so we got regional quest areas and that kind of stuff. A bunch of fast teleport points to unlock, and it shows you on the map. This is, for example, now a demon mask. And I'm not actually entirely sure what will happen here if I now talk to this guy. Well, what happens is that I'm getting, oh my lord, getting a nifty boss fight. Wrong weapon, let's swap over to the umbrella. Goodness, he is doing damage for days. Let's see if we can stun him. Okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry, you shouldn't try new boss fights when you're like talking to your YouTube video. And that's just randomly on the map, right? There's so much to discover. And the boss fights are actually what really has me going. I want to find these bosses. I want to fight these bosses. And after you actually beat these bosses, you can fight them again and again and again and again and get more loot and more cool stuff out of them. If you really like one, just, you know, keep clobbering away at them. And that's just all the solo mode. And the solo mode can actually be played co-op too. If I understood it correct, you can't co-op main missions, but you can co-op side missions. I had a Chinese brother join me to fix a puzzle because there are puzzles everywhere in the side missions, and they're amazing, they're fun, they're varied. Puzzles, mini games from NPCs, all that kind of stuff. Bunch of discovery. And you can do this with your friends or solo, however you feel. You have hundreds of hours of free-to-play content just for yourself. But there's also the online mode, and the online mode has PvP. 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 5v5, 20v20, 30v30. Quite some PvP with equalized gear even, so it doesn't matter what you actually have. Then there are world bosses. There are dungeons. There's just social hubs. There's guilds. So after you beat the campaign, or even while you're beating the campaign, you can swap over to the online mode to do some online mode stuff, to level up your character, find new items, meaningful, go forward, whatever. And then come back to the solo mode to keep playing the solo mode. Or you don't care about that and just keep playing the solo mode forever. And choose to beat the game with one of 7 different weapons. Interesting is that the Chinese version actually has more. I don't have the others yet, but I think there are 16 weapons in total. Yeah, freaking great, right? We get like 7 on release, so there's so much more content to come. By the way, there are also build suggestions, so if you're unsure of what to do and how to like use your weapons, you could also just go with what there is, right? It kind of explains some of the play styles, what's going on, right? Which weapons they're using, what they're planning to do. This one is actually using the spear and the umbrella, as it seems. So spear and umbrella seems to be good. Yay. I'm doing the right thing. There's another aspect of the game that I haven't touched on that is interesting for many. I'm not sure if it's only in the online mode available or also in the solo mode. However, if I'm interacting with this vendor here right now, he does sell me decoration because yes, there is also housing to just have your own little place to be. And the game will tickle your inner completionist. This is the completionist menu. It shows you for the regions the amount of quests you have here. These are 6 regional quests with things to do. There's a vendor that we have to go for with stuff to collect. And while you're going over the map, you actually hear the constant chirping of crickets, butterflies, and other things. Look at the map, top left corner, the cricket symbol. This will be something you can try to collect. I'm not sure what the crickets do yet, but there are crickets to collect. I think it's bound to this flower here right now. There are stone kerns that you have to break down to then get your respective cricket and those kind of things. So yeah, tons of stuff apart from gaming, apart from beating things. Like you have your completionist horse ready. There's much you can do, will be able to find. I mentioned the performance at the beginning of the game. I pretty much installed it and played. I didn't check actually any kind of setting. I think I played with VSync on and 60 FPS and it just felt smooth as butter. I didn't even need the 144 FPS to feel good. This is the medium quality version right now with 120, 130 gigabyte, and there's a 200 gigabyte version that supposedly looks even better. Therefore, the game is stunning. It has different vistas. And a lot of the most beautiful areas are just hidden inside missions. They're not even main missions. They're just random side missions that I found over the world going to dungeon. It's like, what the hell? It's like Elden Ring levels of, I just hid this away, and if you don't discover it, you will never know that it was there. Which is crazy to me because it's a free-to-play game. I mean, usually they're trying to rub your face in all the value they have to offer. But no, they're like, oh yeah, if you don't go into this dungeon, you'll never see this. You'll never fight this boss. You'll never get to experience this. Get shredded, nerd. And I love that philosophy. As you notice, I'm quite taken by the game, and I've been enjoying it thoroughly. The hours I played felt like minutes. I almost missed the drawing course of my child because I had to set up like a laptop and a Zoom meeting and everything so she could properly get her drawing stuff done. Since I thought like I have another hour, but then the hour was suddenly gone and I was like, shit, I was supposed to be upstairs. It is fantastic and it's free to play and it has great graphics. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Here is my first stream of really my first reactions of experiencing it. Might want to look into there to get an even better feeling for it, how it plays and vibes. Now take care and see you on release for all the guides and everything to will guide you along and show you all the cool secrets.